No one says it out loud, but you feel it. You're slowly disappearing. And the painful part, you're doing it silently. Not because you're weak, not because life was unfair, but because somewhere along the way you believed a lie that your moment is gone. Every time you say, I had more energy back then, you're really saying, I'm not enough anymore. And that's not just false, it's dangerous, because if you repeat it long enough, your mind accepts it as truth. And once that happens, you stop trying. You blame time, but it's not time. It's you. You and your elegant excuses. You and that inner voice that says, dreaming is for the young. You dress up your fear and call it maturity. But inside, you've quietly given up. And here's the harsh truth. Most people over 40 already have. Not on paper, but in thought. Thoughts like, I'm not for that anymore. That part of life is gone. Short, soft sentences. But they kill your drive, your creativity, your hunger. The problem isn't your age, it's the mental programming you've installed. Beliefs you've repeated so long they've become automatic. Your subconscious doesn't understand time. It doesn't know past or future, it just obeys. If you say, I can't anymore, it replies, understood. If you think, I'm too old for this, it doesn't argue. It executes. That's how powerful and dangerous your mind is. And if you don't change this program, you'll keep living the same year again and again and call it life. But here's the good news. Some people thrive after 40. They break patterns, they rise. They do in 10 years what they couldn't in 30. And no, it's not luck, not connections, not genetics, it's mindset. They don't surrender to the calendar, they don't let age define them. They use it as a springboard. Because at 45, 50, or 57, you've seen enough to spot real opportunities. You've failed enough to know how to rise again. And that's power. Take Antonio Ferrer, 48, a plumber, fired without warning. One day, he was valuable. The next, he was too old. He repeated one sentence to himself for days. I'm old. No one will hire me now. And slowly, his body followed. He moved slower, spoke less, and his eyes lost their shine. Until one day he asked himself, what if that's a lie? That question changed everything. He started talking to himself differently. Each morning he said, I have experience, I have value, I have solutions. It felt fake at first, but he kept repeating it. And eventually his new words replaced the old ones. He stopped calling himself just a plumber. He became a leak prevention specialist. He wasn't fixing problems, he was preventing them. He sold peace of mind, not just services. That's vision. Today, Antonio leads a team of 5. He has steady clients, stable income, and self-respect. But most of all, he has a reprogrammed mind. Because age doesn't define your value, your story does. And here's your turning point. What's holding you back isn't your age, it's how you see yourself. It's your inner dialogue. That whisper that says, it's too late. It's not worth it anymore. But what if that voice is wrong? What if it's just a poorly told story? What if right now you are exactly who the world needs? Not 20 years ago, but today. What if your scars aren't weakness, but proof of authenticity? The issue isn't aging. It's letting age control your behavior. There are young people who've already given up, and there are 56-year-olds who are just starting the best chapter of their lives. There's a question no one else can answer for you. Which side do you want to be on? The side that fades quietly, or the side that rises despite everything? You may not like to hear this, but no one is coming to save you. No one will show up and say, now you may begin. It's either you move or stay paused forever. And if you're waiting for the perfect moment, you've already lost. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. Uncertain, flawed, but real. If you don't act now, next year will look just like the last one. And that is the real nightmare. Living in circles, wrapped in excuses. Be honest with yourself. How many times have you looked in the mirror and felt you were made for more? How many times did you feel a spark, then crushed it with, maybe in another life? Well, here's the truth. This is your other life. This is the chance you've been waiting for. But you can't see it because you're too busy regretting the past. Your mind is your greatest tool. But it can also be your prison. You decide, build with it, or be locked inside it. What you think every day isn't innocent. It shapes your world, your habits, your choices, your relationships, everything grows from the seed of your belief system. If that seed is rotten, no matter how hard you try, your results will always taste bitter. And the saddest part, most people realize this only when it's too late, when they've lost time, energy, and motivation, when their dreams are buried under routine. But you're still on time. That discomfort you feel isn't random. It's your inner self calling. It's life whispering. You still can, you still must. But this isn't fixed with sweet words. It takes brutal honesty. Ask yourself, are you ready to question what you believe about you? Are you truly ready to become someone new? Because if not, then this message will fade away like all the others. But if yes, hold on. Because changing your mindset hurts. It's a war against everything you thought was true. You'll have to face your worst fears, your loudest insecurities, the voice in your head calling you too old, not good enough, a failure. You'll have to look it in the eye and say, thanks for your opinion, but not anymore. You'll write a new story, not one based in fear, but in possibility, not shaped by your past, but built from your vision. And when the change starts, no one will see it. There'll be no applause, no big celebration, just silence. And in that silence, you'll rebuild, day by day, thought by thought, until one day you look back and say, I did it, I really did it. And that day you'll understand. It was never about time. It was never about age. It was always about you. Now ask yourself, are you going to reprogram yourself as a failure? Or are you going to write your rebirth with your own hands? Because this isn't about time, it's about decision. And the time to decide is now. But here's the biggest mistake people make. They think changing the mind is just a mental act, as if saying a few positive phrases or visualizing success before bed is enough. It's not. That's just surface level change. Real transformation, the kind that rises from the ashes, starts invisibly, but it feeds on something very physical, your environment. Want to know why you're still stuck in the same destructive patterns? Because the people around you normalize those patterns. Because your daily conversations reinforce resignation. Because your routine is a quiet machine, producing mediocrity disguised as stability. Your mind is not only shaped by your thoughts, it is deeply shaped by the world you move in. Your mind follows what you allow inside it. Every word you hear, every gesture you accept, and every space you choose to live in, these are instructions to your subconscious. If you surround yourself with people who have given up on their dreams, giving up will start to feel normal. If your friends often say, at our age, it's too late, your mind slowly starts believing it. Not because it's true, but because you hear it again and again, until you stop questioning it. And here's the tough truth that no one tells you. Your environment doesn't change you all at once. It changes you quietly, slowly, day by day, like drops of water shaping a rock, not with noise but with repetition. You think you are thinking for yourself, but in reality, most of your thoughts are echoes of what you hear, see, and allow into your life. That's why, if you truly want to grow after 40, just changing your thoughts is not enough. You need to change what you allow into your life. You must protect your mind, and that protection will demand hard choices. You'll need to set boundaries. You'll need to distance yourself from people you care about, people who love you but fill you with small thinking. You'll have to skip those conversations where people only talk about what's no longer possible. You'll need to stop attending meetings where all you hear is, it's too late now, or at this age we can't. These phrases might sound harmless, but they are poison. Slow, soft, silent, but deadly. And don't confuse this with selfishness. This is not about being cold. This is survival. This is emotional maturity. This is self-respect. Tell me honestly, has carrying other people's fears and negativity ever helped you? How many times have you held yourself back just to keep others comfortable? How often have you dimmed your own light just so others don't feel insecure? And here's something most people never realize. It is arrogant to believe you can stay great in a small environment and not be affected. No one is that strong. No one is immune to the constant pressure of mediocrity. Look around, right now. Who are your role models? Who are the people closest to you? Who do you listen to more than yourself? Because if they're not going where you want to go, Why are you letting them guide your direction? Yes, it's hard, but it's necessary. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't become a new version of yourself while living in the same environment that broke you. You can't build new dreams with old habits, and you definitely can't expect a new future while surrounding yourself with the same tired beliefs. Let's talk about something deeper. Language. Not just the words others use, but your own. The way you talk to yourself. The words you use when you describe your life. Because every word is a contract with your reality. When you say, "It's difficult," you make it even harder. When you say, "I'm not sure I can do it," your body prepares to give up. Your language is the invisible map of your future. And if you're not careful, you'll end up destroying your path without even noticing, just by the words you use every day. Start speaking like the person you want to become. Not from arrogance, but from confidence. The confidence that you're capable. The confidence that you're on your way. The confidence that you refuse to accept a smaller version of yourself. Because every time you use words based on limitation, you confirm the lie that your age is a barrier. But it's not. Your age is not a weight, it's a treasure chest. It's filled with lessons, scars, victories no one saw, and falls that taught you more than any book ever could. So why keep treating it like a curse? Listen carefully. There is no force more powerful than a person who was once broken but chose to rebuild. Because they no longer act to impress others. They act with deep conviction. And that kind of conviction doesn't fade. It doesn't shake. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't beg for approval. You can become that person if you decide you've had enough. Enough of being shaped by your surroundings. Enough of language that limits you. Enough of beliefs that shrink you. You are not too old. You are too aware. Too awake. You know what the biggest mistake is for people who grow older but don't evolve? They keep the same thoughts, the same fears, the same habits, and still expect a new life. As if time itself will reward them for just being alive. But time does not reward you. Time reveals you. It reveals who you've become. It shows what you've tolerated. It exposes how willing you were to fight for yourself. Now let's go even deeper. Let's talk about something you can't see, but you can feel. Your vital energy. That vibration you carry even when you're silent. That presence that tells the world whether you're truly alive or just surviving. That energy doesn't come from rest. It doesn't come from sleep. It comes from purpose. You don't owe anyone anything, but you owe yourself everything. You owe it to yourself to try again. To break the rules others forced on you. To be the real, raw, and free version of yourself. And if you've made it this far in life, it's not by chance. There's something inside you that refuses to give up. A quiet voice that says, "I can still do it." And I'm telling you, yes, you can. But no one else will do it for you. This is between you and you. So decide, right now. Because every time you delay, you're teaching your mind how to quit. But every small step forward is rewriting your story. The story of someone who didn't give up, who didn't follow the script society handed them. Even after 40, 50, or 60 years, they chose to begin again. To write new chapters. To believe the fire inside them is still alive. And when you feed that fire with purpose, it doesn't burn out. It becomes a light, a message, a legacy. But be careful. There's a hidden enemy. It speaks softly and wears a sweet smile. Nostalgia. It sneaks in and tells you, things were better back then. When I was 20, I felt unstoppable. I wish I could go back. But nostalgia lies. It turns the past into something sacred and makes your present feel like it's not enough. You can't move forward if you're still clinging to yesterday. You idolize what you lost and forget what you can still build. And worse, you start to doubt reality. Was the past really so perfect? Or are you just unhappy now? Sometimes you don't miss the past. You miss the version of yourself who had dreams, who didn't fear failure, who got back up after every fall. It's not time that hurts, it's giving up. And when you give up on your present, you start worshipping a past that no longer exists. That pain you feel? It's because you stopped creating new memories. You accepted that the best was behind you. Want to grow after 40? Then stop looking back. The past owes you nothing. Stop begging it for meaning. You won't find answers in the person you used to be. If your past doesn't help you grow, then it's quietly destroying you. You can't evolve by repeating. You evolve by reinventing. And reinventing yourself isn't betrayal. It's love. It's saying, "Thank you, old me, but now it's time to become someone I've never been." Yes, it's scary, because reinvention brings a painful moment, the void. You're no longer who you were, but not yet who you'll become. You're stuck in between. No role models, no title, no identity. It hurts. And that's where most people quit. But in that emptiness is your chance. If you can stay there long enough without running, something amazing will happen. You'll rebuild, something yours, something real. Not perfect, but true. Not for likes or validation, but from your own soul. And let me tell you, growth isn't glamorous. It's not Instagrammable. It doesn't come with claps or cheers. It comes with quiet nights, tough choices, lost friendships, and walking alone. But it also brings peace, the deep, powerful peace of knowing you're finally becoming who you were meant to be. And reinvention, it takes courage, yes, but also humility. The humility to admit you were wrong, that you can change, that you don't need permission to begin again. That's real freedom. To grow without apology. To be new without needing to explain it to anyone.